Mushlings! Today I'm going to show you how to paint green skin, white cloth and damaged armor with the chipping technique. So let's start with the green skin. We're going to apply a wag flash for the base coat, a warboss green for the first layer and a scar snake green for the second layer. So let's start painting with a mixture of wag flash and black. Remember to use the ultra matte from AK, not only to dilute your color but also to uniform the various colors. When you're applying the first base coat, remember to be as thin as possible, therefore your work for the layering will be easier. Starting with a darker base coat will let us to skip the shading step. Another tip for a faster painting is to always start with the inner parts of the model. In this case, the skin is the first one we have to do. Once the first base coat is dried, let's apply another layer, just to have a more saturated base coat. At this point that we are satisfied with the base coat, we can start with the first layer. I'll start with a mixture of wag flash and warboss green. Then I'll keep adding more warboss to enlighten the main details. As you can see, I'm focusing on the zenithal lights, therefore I'm applying all the lights on the upper parts of the piece. Also, when you go farther in the highlighting, you have to reduce your painting area and not cover the whole underlying layer. This way, you get a nice and smooth blended transition from layer to another. As you can see, I'm using a number 1 miniature Winsor & Newton Series 7 brush. Miniature means short tip, while finest means long tip. I'd rather use the shorter one because it looks more like a marker and it's easier to me to control the strokes. Also, bear in mind that you don't need an incredible small brush to reach the max details. The only thing you really need is a very sharp tip. It will not only let you paint the finest details, but it will let you paint way better. Alright guys, at this point we finally reached the last step for the green skin. I'm applying the maximum highlights in very narrow sections to let the brightest green stand out and have a very nice contrast. Okay, let's start with the interesting part of this tutorial, how to paint white. My palette is very particular as it doesn't include any white colors in the white palette. Incredible, right? It's easier and cooler than you think. First of all, this is a palette for a warm white. What does it mean? It means that as we have the yellow inside, it will turn our white to a warm color, while if we wanted a cold one, we had to use colors with a tip of blue inside. So as you can see, the palette is black, English uniform from Vallejo, and pale sand or ivory. I'd say that ivory is better than the pale sand because it's a bit brighter, but mine looks like too much liquid and cannot use it. It's probably a faulty bottle. So give it a try, play with these three colors and see how it turns to white. It's incredible, and the main important thing is that this kind of palette doesn't get absorbed by the underlying layer. Therefore, you don't have to apply any other layers once it dries and to get it more saturated. As you can see, the farther I go, I just increase the amount of pale sand in my palette to enlighten the layers. As I was saying before, for a cold white, I usually go with the grey cere from Citadel and the Apothecary white, which is an incredible contrast color in my opinion. At that point, I just highlight the max lights with a tip of Screaming Skull and my cold white, it's done. As you can see, only at this point we can add a tip of pure white to the pale sand or ivory to increase the contrast.
Do you want to dance?
Remember to focus only on very main spots for the maximum highlights. Alright, and we're finally done with the white cloth too. Remember that if you want to recreate the cloth texture, you can always use an old brush and tipping without caring too much on the precision. So let's start with the last part of the tutorial. Very quick and easy, the chipping technique to reproduce the damaged armor effect. We have to start with Rhine oxide and a tip of black. Then we will go with this silver, in my case the speed metal from scale 75. Otherwise you can use any light silver from Citadel. We have to randomly focus only on the edges of the armor and tap the brush the way I'm doing, not caring to be precise, just do it randomly. Keep doing like this and set all the damaged parts. You can also create scratches. Once you're satisfied with the first step, we can start applying the silver color in a narrowed area inside the brown section we applied before. This way, we recreate the effect of the scratched and damaged armor. Unfortunately, with the red one, it doesn't work very well, but with a yellow armor or even a white one, it will look incredible and so real. So have fun with this technique and impress your friends. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really hope that this video helped you, and stay tuned for more video tutorials. And if you want, don't hesitate to comment below in this video and ask me to join my Discord community. Thanks for watching. Bye.